How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to talk about the NBA draft. And in particular, we're going to talk about 5 players who I believe are very underrated and could hold great late round value for playoff teams who have a late first round pick like the Lakers, Milwaukee, or Toronto. Each of these players are underrated for various reasons, but they all have unique talent and ability which may make them potential steals in the draft, and for a player to qualify, they need to be projected to be at least drafted outside the lottery, if not closer towards the end of the late first round. I also won't be including any players who have been rising up draft boards lately, like Desmond, Bane, and Tyler Bay for example. But coming in at number 5, we got Isaiah Joe, a 21-year-old shooting guard from Arkansas. And after having a very good freshman year, he didn't really improve much in his sophomore year. His efficiency fell off a lot, and it contributed him to be projected as a second round pick, but he still has a lot of potential as a two-way player and a high volume three-point shooter. In both years of college, he attempted more than 8 3-point shots a game, and even connected on 41.4% of them in his freshman year. Although, in his sophomore year, he only connected on 34.2% of his three-point shot attempts. His drop in efficiency could have been contributed to having a bigger role in his sophomore year, along with dealing with a knee injury as well. Either way, he showed a lot of promise as a three-point shooter who has a really quick shot and a knack for being able to get a shot off with barely any room. He also is a pretty good defender as well. There are some improvements to be made, but he has good lateral mobility, and his good 6'10" wingspan help him bother players out on the perimeter and help him get into passing lanes. He probably has the potential to guard positions 1 through 3 eventually, but even now he likely could hold his own in the NBA defending most point guards and shooting guards. Now coming in at number 4, we got Elijah Hughes, a 22-year-old combo guard forward out of Syracuse. His good height, length, and strength will allow him to guard positions 1 through 3 and even maybe 1 through 4. He showed good promise as a defender in college where he averaged 1.2 steals and 0.8 blocks a game. The block average in particular is pretty good for a wing player and shows how good he is at contesting shots. But his ability to defend doesn't compare to his offensive game. He's a true 3-level scorer that averaged 19 points a game. He's a high-volume 3-point shooter with a good touch, and even though his 3-point shooting percentage took a dip in 2019-2020, that could have been contributed to his role in the team growing and not being surrounded with a lot of talent. Because in his sophomore year, he shot nearly 37% from the 3-point line while attempting nearly 7 3-point shots a game, compared to this year where he averaged 34.1% from the 3-point line while taking over 7 3-point shot attempts a game. His dip in efficiency very likely came again from his increased role in the team, not having many good other options around him, but being the main option on the team also allowed him to show his playmaking ability. He had an assist average of 3.4 a game compared to only 1.8 turnovers a game. This is a very good ratio for a wing player, and it shows how effective he was with the ball in his hands. Overall, Elijah Hughes is a very well-rounded player who isn't getting talked about nearly enough in my opinion. He could contribute to an NBA team right away and could be a good fit for a team like the Lakers who need another good 3-and-D player. But now moving on to number 3, where we got Uturu, a 21-year-old sophomore center out of Minnesota. He got a big boost in playing time in his second year of college compared to in his first year, and he took full advantage of it. He averaged 10 more points a game, over 4 more rebounds a game, over 1 more block a game, and developed a 3-point shot. And I think in today's NBA, his ability to defend the rim while being able to space the floor is the most attractive part of his game. He can play like a traditional center and has good post moves as well, but his ability to stretch out his game to the 3-point line is what impressed me most about his game. It wasn't a very large sample, but he made 36.5% of his 3-point shots while attempting 1.7 a game. I think another good barometer to factor into his ability to shoot is looking at his free throw percentage, where he shot over 70% from the 3-point line. And while that's not incredible, it does show at the very least that he has an effective regular shooting motion. Whether it does immediately transfer to the NBA or not remains to be seen, but he did at least show that he has the potential to develop it. And finally, he was one of the best rebounders in college. He averaged over 11 a game and fought hard on both the offensive and defensive rebound battle. He averaged nearly 4 offensive rebounds a game, which shows how good he was at attacking the glass and getting good positioning down low. Overall, for how much talent he showed and how well his game could be in the NBA today, I'm surprised by him being projected to only be taken around pick 30 to 40. But now moving on to player number 2, where we got Jordanwara. If you watched my video on the top 5 players I think the Lakers should target in the NBA draft, you already know I'm a big fan of Nwora. He is one of the best shooters in the draft, especially when looking at wing players. He is a 22-year-old junior small forward from Louisville. He has a really good frame with his good height, near 6'11" wingspan, and 225-pound frame. And again, that is only a compliment to his main strength, which is his shooting ability. In his junior year, he shot over 40% from the three-point line, while being the primary scorer on his team. He was very effective at moving without the ball and finding a way to get open. His shot is also pretty quick and hard to block, which is another reason for his great shooting efficiency. And he's also an underrated athlete. He can play above the rim and is a lot more explosive than he is given credit for. And I think his athletic ability, coupled with his good frame, could allow him to develop into a well-rounded defender. He's quick enough to defend the perimeter, but he also has the strength to defend power forwards down low. Overall, I think Nwora is very underrated and could be a great addition for a team like the Lakers or Milwaukee, who needs additional shooting at the wing. Finally, coming in at number 1, we got Robert Woodard. Woodard is another player who I included in my top 5 video for who I think the Lakers should maybe target in the draft, and he is a 21-year-old sophomore forward out of Mississippi State. He is definitely one of the most gifted athletes in the draft and one of the most physically developed players as well. He has a huge 230-pound frame to go along with his good height, great 7'2" wingspan, and jumping ability, and he used his athletic ability to be a great all-around defender in college. He defended both out on the perimeter and down low. He showed this by averaging both over a steal a game and 1 block per game, and as a small forward, that is very impressive and highly desired in the NBA today. To go along with that, he shot 42.9% from the three-point line while attempting 2.3 a game. And that's actually a pretty good sample to look at. I think it has the ability to translate to the NBA, even if it doesn't right away. He has a good shooting motion, and he does well to take efficient shots in the corner. He's a great off-ball player, where he does not only take good three-point shots in the corner and wing, but does great at cutting to the rim without the ball, and then can finish above the rim too. But again, his ability to defend is what makes him such an attractive target. He has legitimate potential to defend positions 1 through 4, if not maybe 1 through 5, and that is incredibly rare to find. There aren't many players coming out of college who are as physically developed as he is already, while at the same time being one of the elite athletes in the draft. To me, he is the most underrated player in the entire draft, and I think he will be a steal on whatever team he winds up on. And I think he would be a perfect fit on the Laker team, and I hope they realize it. But what do you guys think? Who do you think are some of the most underrated players in the NBA draft? Do you agree with my top 5? Or would you rearrange the order at all, or maybe replace the player with someone else? Let me know by commenting down below and we can talk about it there. But that'll do it for this video. Thank you to everyone who watched until the end of the video. I genuinely appreciate you guys and how much you support the channel. And if you enjoyed, please remember to drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And as always, thank you for watching.